Good afternoon and welcome to the BBC News at 1. Two women who claim that their ex-husbands lied to the courts during divorce proceedings about how much they were worth have won a legal victory at the Supreme Court. Varsha Gohil and Alison Sharland have been told their existing divorce settlements should now be set aside. Lawyers say the ruling could have a significant effect on many other divorces going through the courts. Our legal affairs correspondent Clive Coleman reports. The parents of a murdered teenager say a review into their daughter's death is an embarrassment to police and shows her murder could have been prevented. Georgia Williams was killed by Jamie Reynolds, who's now serving a life sentence. Several years earlier, he'd attempted a similar attack on another young woman. A serious case review into Georgia's death says a series of mistakes were made by different agencies who had contact with her killer over a number of years. The Chancellor, George Osborne, is urging moderate Labour MPs to rebel against their leadership and support his fiscal charter in a vote today. It commits governments to running a surplus when the economy is growing. This week, the Shadow Chancellor, John McDonnell, announced he would not support the government's plans, despite saying last month that he would. Our political correspondent Carol Walker reports. His first novel was rejected 78 times. Thankfully, that didn't put him off completely, because last night Marlon James won the Man Booker Prize, one of the most coveted literary awards for fiction. His novel, A Brief History of 7 Killings, also made him the first Jamaican to pick up the prize in almost half a century. He said it all felt kind of surreal. Here's Sarah Campbell. Lowest level since 2008. The latest figures also show that a record number of people are now in employment. Average earnings are still going up, though by less than analysts expected. Andy Verity looks at what it means for the UK economy. Welcoming thousands of migrants and refugees with open arms, the German government is now considering plans to turn away migrants at the German border if they have no prospect of asylum in the country. They plan to create transit zones. The leader of the Democratic Unionist Party, Peter Robinson, has appeared before a committee at Stormont to respond to claims that he personally benefited from a £1 billion property deal. The sale is being investigated after funds were found in an Isle of Man bank account. But Mr. Robinson insisted that there was no evidence for what he called the groundless allegations made by a political blogger. Our Ireland correspondent Andy Martin reports. 30 managers were involved in Volkswagen's emissions test cheating. That's according to the German magazine Der Spiegel.